Bueller. Bueller. Bueller.
He's sick. My best friend's sister's boyfriend's brother's girlfriend heard from this guy who knows this kid is going with the girl who saw Ferris pass out at 31 Flavors last night. I guess it's pretty serious.
Thank you, Simone.
No problem whatsoever.
Fry. Fry. Fry.
How did you go from either acting in Deep Throat or being Deep Throat?
I wasn't Deep Throat. I wasn't even remotely Deep Throat. I would not do anything against Nixon for anything.
Isn't that exactly what Deep Throat would say?
No, I'm not Deep Throat.
Okay. How did you go from there to that?
I left the White House, got a column at the Wall Street Journal about entertainment. They sent me to Hollywood a lot. I loved the lifestyle out there. Norman Lear, whom I interviewed a number of times.
I'm sorry, I just don't see you.
Yes, I'm a Hollywood guy.
Really?
Hollywood, yeah. Well,
do you go to all the parties?
No.
Are you clubbing it with?
No. I'm a Hollywood guy in the sense I like the weather. I like the freeways. I like the fact that you can swim. I have a very nice pool at my house, and I swim every day that I'm home, morning and night, no matter how cold it is. It's not cold in my pool, I assure you of that. And I love that, and I love the fact that you can do anything you want, and people don't expect much expectation they'll behave normally. But I love Washington, D.C. the most. Anyway, so the Wall Street Journal sent me to Hollywood. Norman Lear, whom I'd met a number of times, offered me a consultancy, $600 a week. I thought I was rich, and so I did that. And then
Norman Lear likes you?
Oh, yeah, he and I are great pals.
He hates me.
Oh, what a shock. But I'm never going to... If you met him...
I have met him.
Well, he would like you if you met him.
I mean, what is...
I'm scratching my back. He would love you if he met you. And
I've met him.
Well, what did he say when you met him?
Nothing.
Well, I can introduce you.
But I didn't ask. I was just...
If you two want to come... If you want to come out to Hollywood, or sometime when you're there for a speech, I will arrange for you and Norman and me to have dinner, and we'll have a nice time, and you'll wind up loving each other. Anyway, so I started writing screenplays. I sold the very first one I ever wrote. I sold dozens after that. A couple of them got made, and then one day a producer asked me if I'd be in a movie. That was Ferris Bueller, and next thing I knew, I was a star.
Right. 1 minute. I found out that you actually wrote... You wrote screenplays. Right. You wrote America with a K.
I wrote the storyline. I did not write the script. I wrote the storyline for America with a K. And I wrote the script for a storyline for a very good TV movie called A Murder in Mississippi about Goodman, Cheney, and Schwerner. And I wrote the script, for which I didn't get credit by some ripoff, for a movie called The Boost, which is based on my book about Quaalude addiction. And it was great stuff.
What is your expertise in Quaalude addiction?
I used to take them not to the point of addiction, but they were the best sleeping pill ever made. And I wrote and I helped think up
Hang on. Can you get a shot of this table? Tell me that this table. Can you get up here? That this guy who has all of this stuff over here, you can't really see it. He's been drinking this off the air. He comes with his own tea, and I think he has crumpets in his pocket. I mean...
Yeah, plus Zantac.
Yeah, that is...
Zantac.
Okay, all right, back in just a second. We'll talk about the economy. He's going to get all hepped up, and then we'll talk about the economy. Back with Ben Stein, documentary filmmaker of Expelled, No Intelligence Allowed. You used to write a column about celebrities,
right,
and then you were kind of disillusioned. What a surprise!
Well, I was writing it for E-Online, which is a great online service, and it was about life at Morton's, which is a super powerful star restaurant. It's actually closed just recently, but I got disillusioned because the real stars, I realized, are not at Morton's. They're not in Malibu. They're not in Beverly Hills. They're wearing battle dress uniform over body armor in Ar-Ramadi, Kirkuk, Mosul. They're going on patrol outside Bagram Air Force Base in Afghanistan. They're flying around in helicopters in remote valleys in Afghanistan. They're getting shot at. They're having their legs blown off by Iranian-supplied equipment. And then they're being incredibly brave about it at Walter Reed.
You were just at Walter Reed just
I was just at Walter Reed very recently. And the people there are the bravest people on earth. I met a young man from the 10th Mountain Division. He'd had his legs blown off by an explosively formed projectile. I said, what did it feel like? He said, I said to my buddy who was in the Humvee with me, Forbes, I don't have any legs. And I said, well, what did you think? And he said, it's like when you've got the last beer out of the refrigerator and you've already drunk it and you thought you had another one there and you're out of beer and you've drunk your last beer. I thought, I don't have any legs. I've drunk my last beer where my legs are concerned. And it was unbelievably poetic. And this guy was sitting there in his bed without any legs and making jokes and as poetic as Bob Dylan. And he's sitting there at Walter Reed with his family beside him. And that's a hero. That's a superstar.
As poetic as Bob Dylan, yet without all the angst and yeah,
this
anger
guy, look, I look at the anger of the people in New York in the media world. If you cross them even a little bit, they would just as soon cut your head off.
Yeah.
These guys have modesty, self-deprecating, they're humorous, they have common sense. They're just incredibly kind, wonderful people. We are so blessed to have them in our service. There are no words to describe it. And their families take on the most incredible burdens, all for us. We're just sitting on our butts back home. We are blessed beyond words to have these people in our service.
And there you go, living the Hollywood lifestyle.
I live it, but I tell you what, with every stroke of my pool, I thank God for these men and women and their families, and I'm happy to pay my taxes. And you know what? I think I've been to Walter Reed more than any other celebrity.
Yeah.
They tell me when I go there, nobody else goes.
Well, you know, I have to tell you, you're a genuine guy. We've gotten to know each other
genuine
less.
Nut.
No, you're a genuine guy. You genuinely care about America, and you care about them an awful lot.
This country is fabulous. Glenn, this country, do I care? How could you not care about America? Look, I'm a Jew. My parents were just the scum of the earth back in Eastern Europe. People could kill us or spit on us or torture us to death with impunity. In America, I'm a human being with dignity and have the rights under law to do anything I want.
What happened to us, Ben? How can we have people like Jeremiah Wright coming out and saying the things that he does, and just this hatred of...
Because he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand.
But it's not him alone.
There are lots of people like that, but they've got to be educated. I mean, Martin Luther King Jr. said we have to love other people, not because they're likable, but because they're all children of God, and we have to love them because God made them in His image. And the same is true with Reverend Wright. I disagree with much of what he says, but he's a child of God made in His image, and we've got to try to educate him and correct his thinking. It can be done.
How many children do you have?
One, a college student.
Really?
Yes. Very, very, very good-looking guy who has the best-looking girlfriend on the planet.
Again?
Well, I notice these things.
How many dogs do you have?
We have 3 dogs and 6 cats and a fish.
Okay, here's the thing. If you're a listener to the radio program, you know that I have a Homeland Security rule. I think if you have more than 3 cats, not married, so in other words, you can marry and you can have 3 cats. So in other words, if you have 2 cats and she had 2 cats, you could marry, but you can't have 4. You got to choose one, Sophie's choice, and get rid of 1 cat.
Well, no, but
you have 6. I put a cruiser out in front of your house because you're one of the crazy cats.
Well, we have a pretty big house. I'm sure nowhere near as big as yours. And the cats are treated well. They don't go outside. They don't bother anybody else. And
that's even creepier. You're one of the people. I'm telling you, America. Someday you're going to read Ben Stein died alone with 80 cats. The neighbors are complaining about the feces in the house. That's what's going to happen.
I just hope it's not for a long time.
Doesn't it? It says something about somebody else.
I don't like the alone part too much, but we love animals, and those animals would have been killed if we hadn't taken them in, and they're all incredibly cute and playful, and we love them. Dogs and cats are our best friends, Glenn.
Ben, whatever.
Plus oil.
But again, again with the Hollywood lifestyle, you're off and on again with marriage.
No, I've been married only to the same woman ever in my life.
Twice! You divorced her and then married her again.
I've only been married to her. She's the only woman I've ever been married to. And the only other woman I've ever been married to is my dog.
I mean, you don't have to really tell me the gory details, but what's with the divorce, and then did you just one day go...
We were both young. We didn't really understand how to get along with other people. We were both incredibly selfish. And after I had been separated for a while, living a very, very lively romantic lifestyle, I realized that there was nobody out there like Alex. There are many other wonderful women, but there is only one Alex. There's only one Alex who would give me her dog when I was living out in Malibu and she was spending most of the time in Beverly Hills and my dog died. She gave me her dog. Who else would do that?
You'd take my dog.
Oh, I can take your dog?
I'm just saying.
No, you
No,
wouldn't
you
give me
could
your dog.
actually. No, actually, if I had a cat, you could take the cat.
No, you
and then
wouldn't
I
have
would
your
call Homeland Security on you because then you'd have 7 cats. Really, come on. There is a point where you have too many cats.
Why? We love cats.
Because it's too weird. You've got too many cats living with you.
Well, that's just a restatement of the question, with all due respect.
I think that's everything you need to know about a person. I have 6 cats. Okay, thanks.
Well, my wife and I and our son and the housekeeper have 6 cats, so that's really only 1.5 cats per person.
How many houses do you have?
A lot.
How much you pulling down a year?
Nowhere near as much as you.
No,
Not
come
even
on.
the same universe.
That's not an answer to the question.
It's
That's
not
just
even in the same
That's just
universe.
deflecting
It's
to me.
not even in the same universe as you. It's a
No,
very
it's
modest.
a deflection.
It's a very
How
modest.
much you pulling down a year?
It's a very modest wage.
He has to feed 6 cats. Can you
It's a
imagine
very
what
modest,
the salary is?
It's a very modest wage.
Nuts.
It's a very modest.
All right,
wage.
we're going to play Win Glenn Beck's Money
Okay.
in a second.
Okay.